everybody, welcome to Cinema Trailer News. My name is Grace and this will be my review for Man The Wasp Quantumania. I just got done watching Man The Wasp Quantumania, and with this third installment in the Ant-Man trilogy, we find Scotland kind of at peace with life. Endgame happened, he saved the world, he's written a book, but with the time he's now lost with his daughter Cassie, who is a teenage. He finds himself a bit of a disconnected, and right at the exact moment he gets sucked into the quantum realm to meet Kang, the conqueror. That's pretty much all I can say without giving any spoilers away. There will be no spoilers here. But when it came to Ant-Man, who doesn't love power as this little guy? I think the first Ant-Man movie is underrated and one of the best solo origin movies of the MCU. A lot of that is because you can still feel Edgar Wright's stand on the film, but though Peyton Reed did a good enough job that made me really excited for the Ant-Man character. Then we got to Ant-Man The Wasp, and to me that film was just kind of a forgettable. Not really that it was a bad film, but it just existed. So when it came time for this third movie and they brought Peyton Reed back and he was demanding from Kevin Feige, look, I want to have this big world-changing event movie that lead us into the new phase. Feige gifting that, and he giving Kang the Conqueror here, and who's set to be the villain for the next Avengers movie, Kang Dynasty, and being the star of Phase 5. Now, working over, I enjoy my time. I do think it's a fun movie, but it got some issues. And starting things off with the start that worked for me in this movie is the exploration of the quantum realm. It's gonna be a unique and twisty, wacky ride once you finally get to explore the quantum realm here. Before I saw the movie, a lot of reviews mentioned they gave out Star Wars vibe, and I found it interesting that people were calling out an Ant-Man movie a Star Wars film. But that really is what it feels like once you get down to the quantum realm. It's a whole vast of universe down there with all these creatures, their planets, their own ways of life. I totally get the Star Wars comparison, but I won't even say that it feels like an alien race. You can very much feel the inspiration of microbiology in some of these organisms. There's some people down there that look like regular old humans, but then you get all the way to the machinery works, the buildings, and other life forms, and I don't think it's really anything we haven't seen before. Some may find a little wacky and out there, but for me it kind of work, and I find it to be a fun aspect of the movie. I was also pretty happy with the relationship between Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, and Cassie Lang. You see in the trailers, Cassie Lang has her own suit. She even goes to jail at West Point just because she's trying to be like what her dad was early on in the Ant-Man movies, fighting for the little guy and showing up at protests, trying to make a difference in the world, and sometimes it rubs other people the wrong way. When I first saw the trailers, I remember that catch me off guard and like, oh, I love Cassie. I don't want to see her behind bars, the trouble kid. And then having her relationship with her father kind of a rocky, that kind of ruins things for me. But in the context of the movie, I actually love the way they put it off. Cassie is trying to take inspiration from her father, makes Shane be a hero of the world. She even puts her dad in the corner, says, look, after anger you have done is reading a book. What else have you done for the world, Dad? You went to jail at one point, Dad, because you were fighting for the cause. Where is that person now? And just like that, I completely was on board for what they were doing here. There are some mistakes with Cassie though, but I'll get into that in my negatives. When it comes to the visual effects of the film, it's kind of hard to compliment it because early on, when you get into the first into the quantum world is very noticeable. Some of the changes you can tell these characters are in a soundstage or this new LED technology where they are in front of a screen. Well, I guess some directors are still trying to work how to frame that. Well, it it look the movie definitely wasn't beating the Spy Kids 3D allegation. It definitely feel like that at times. However, I think once you get to the halfway point, there are some other grand visual effects that go on that look really good. So you definitely have your preference in visual effects. Some look fantastic, others you like, okay, what is going on here? Nevertheless, the best thing about this movie by far is Jonathan Majors as Kang. Holy freaking God! I can't wait to see more of this man. Leading up to this movie, I will still get comments from people saying that I don't know about this guy being the new Thanos, the big threat for the Avengers. I didn't really like him in Loki. I think people don't get that version of Kang that you saw is not going to be the same one that you see in this movie. This goes to show you the acting range of Jonathan Majors, because he played Kang completely different and very menacing. He's more soft spoken. You feel the threat, his presence of his power, and what makes him stand out as such a great villain in this movie is the balance that Peyton Reed has. One of my biggest problem with Marvel lately is they don't know how to balance the ha 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 funny jokes and the serious moment there are at times where it feels just you cannot have a sit down serious scene between characters without that scene ending on a little joke, because we can be that we can be that serious. Thankfully, when it comes to the scene involving Jonathan Majors and Ant-Man, it was fantastic. They don't get undermined with a joke. Sure, you may have a power being creepy, but that's just his persona. Ken himself is not a jokey person. He's very serious. He knows what he wants and will do anything to get it. And it was that attempt to balance that I really appreciate here. Where, because when Thor Love and Thunder came out, it was joke after joke, no levity, no seriousness. It was just rubbed me the wrong way. With Ant-Man 3, I'm not saying it's a perfect balance, but there is a balance. But I want to jump over some of the things that I was missed about the film that I didn't absolutely love. And it's just kind of messy. One of my biggest drawbacks with this film is it's not really an Ant-Man movie, it's more of a setup for the next story. This is Avengers Kang Dynasty, the prequel almost. I know that's very much the point, set up Kang, get him introduced to the audience so you get an idea of what you're expecting in Kang Dynasty. But with a third film in the Ant-Man trilogy, I just don't feel like an Ant-Man movie. There's so much exposition and dumping that happens to the audience, little things that I'm sure it will be important in the long run, which is great. But there's another huge Marvel problem here that there's always setting up for the next story, and even when you get to that story, that story is also a setup for something else. They focus so hard on setting up Kang and what's coming for the future that they don't even close off some else that was setting up in this movie. Early on in the film, you have the whole conflict with Cassie and Scott, where he clearly doesn't want his daughter to be in the crime fighting life. He doesn't want his daughter to have a suit. In the quantum world, there's some great sequences where Scott is forced to kind of teach his daughter a little bit of the ropes, and I love those moments. But then you get by the end of the movie and we never really resolve that. You're still unsure if he's okay with her crime fighting, is he going to take away her suit. They came to that conclusion of why he's accepting that now, it left that unresolved, and they don't even expect any development from Hope and Hank or Janet, especially Hope. Man, I really feel bad for Wasp's fans here because she was very silent. She's kind of a boss what she needs to, and her suit looks fantastic, though. I would say that, but it feels like the Wasp was just there. Now, when we get to the MODOK stuff, oh, this is going to be one interesting part of this film. I like the VFX on MODOK, okay, just want to put that out there. MODOK looks weird and wild in the comics. Any phones you were going to translate that to live action, it was just going to look wrong to your human eyes. It's that uncanny valley feel, that CGI human face that just looks so wrong. So yeah, MODOK looks horrible, but I love how horrible he looks. And I love the visual effects on MODOK. They're spot on. Whenever he's got that the mask on and he's mostly metal and he's got his weapon out, he's chasing after characters. Oh boy, it looks great. But in the end, he's just treated as a punchline in this movie. He's the Joker villain. I think a lot of that has to do because they didn't want to have another serious villain that undermines Kang's seriousness in this movie. So by default, MODOK had to be the Joker villain, which could have been fine. Some of the jokes here really work for me, especially when you have MODOK and Ant-Man talking to each other. But once you get to know who MODOK really is, I feel that his persona doesn't really fit with the person that we know. So in the third act, MODOK is just kind of definitely treated as a punchline. That I was like, oh, that's a saturated MCU human they gotta put out here. So really, with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, it's not going to be a little conclusion to the trilogy. It's not going to wrap up the ups of this character very well. It's not even going to develop them a lot. But for me, it's still a wacky fun time. I enjoy some of the silly moments because they were balanced out with such a cool threatening Kang that I really want to see more of it in the future. So maybe not the greatest stuff for Phase 5, but I won't say it was horrible like that. I think it was okay. So we'll see with the next movies. But I think that if you're invested in the MCU by far, so sure, go and watch the in the theater, definitely. But if you're just a casual fan, maybe wait for it on Disney Plus and watch it. So that's my review for Man The Wasp Quantumania. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.